Tales of Tomorrow. Presented by Maslin Beauty Blend Broadloads. Tonight's Tale of Tomorrow, Seeing Eye Surgeon, starring Bruce Cabot with Ed Jerome. Good evening. You know what this is? Ball of beeswax. What about beeswax, you say? Well, a very interesting what about beeswax in an editorial in The Shuttle, this little magazine put out by and for the people that work in the Maslin Mills. A member of the Maslin family writes these editorials, and I thought this one would be interesting, so if you don't mind, I'll read it right now. Back in the days of Rome, a sculptor who was more interested in money than in art could sometimes cheat a little. If his chisel slipped, if he cut more deeply into the marble than he meant to cut, he would fill the hole with beeswax mixed with marble dust. In time, the wax would crumble and the hole would show. So, honest sculptors marked their works sine cere, S-I-N-E without C-E-R-E, wax. And that's where the word sincere comes from. It means without wax. So the word sincere we use to mean an honest expression of an honest feeling originally meant an honest work of art, a work that would stand the test of time, a work that needed no patching, no correcting, no wax. And that old meaning of the word sincere should be, I think, our goal in every task we undertake, to do each job so skillfully, so honestly, that it is like a perfect piece of art, sincere, to stand the test of time. And that was the little editorial I wanted to read you from The Shuttle, this magazine put out for and by the people that work in the Maslin Mills. And now C.H. Maslin & Sons bring you tonight's Tale of Tomorrow, Seeing Eye Surgeon, starring Bruce Cabot with Ed Jerome.
Well, I suppose you think you were being very ingenious. But let me tell you, Dr. Terrell, we almost had a dead patient on our hands.
I did what I thought was best.
I gave you explicit instructions as to the performance of this operation. I didn't ask you to improvise.
But surely making the incision on the medulla, you could...
Oh, precisely. And what did you expect to accomplish by that?
It was the best way to relieve the pressure. You could see that for
All
yourself.
I could see was that if I did not push you aside and take over, we would have had a dead patient on our hands.
Tell me something, Dr. Foyle. Just what have you got against me?
I have nothing against you personally, so long as you don't think you can supersede my judgment. One more mistake like that, Dr. Terrell, I'll have you dismissed. You seem to forget that I am the chief surgeon at this hospital.
Oh, not Dr. Foyle. I couldn't do that.
Just what do you mean by that?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all.
I have 25 years of experience behind me. No amount of book learning can give you that. While I'm in charge here, you will follow my instructions exactly as I give them to you, understand?
Yes, sir?
Just don't forget it. That's all.
Same old story.
Uh-huh. My methods are just too up-to-date for him, that's all. You know, it's too bad that Dr. Foyle won't keep up with the times.
Why should he when he can live on his past reputation? Some people still regard him as the finest neurosurgeon in the country.
Yes, I know. Tell me, Martha, what's your honest opinion about all this?
You mean about what happened in the operating room?
Yes.
You were doing an excellent job. But the old man can't afford to have his authority questioned, so he tried to show you up as incompetent.
But what for? Why?
Professional jealousy, maybe. I wouldn't let it worry you. You know, I don't want to make excuses for the old man, but he does have a lot on his mind.
Uh-huh.
He's operating on Professor Ross tomorrow.
Professor Ross, the nuclear physicist?
Yes, and he's in a very critical condition. Dr. Stevens says he has a growth right on the frontal lobe. You know, that's going to be a tricky operation.
Yes, I know, but I don't think he'd try it unless he thought he could do it.
Ross isn't just another patient, Bob. He's an important man. Our whole national defense may depend on whether he can be kept alive to finish his experiments.
I know all that, Martha. But still, I don't see that that gives him any reason to pick on me.
Operating room, Miss Larson speaking. Yes, he is. All right, I'll tell him. Well, I guess that explains why the old man got so upset. That was his secretary. He's worried about you.
Worried about me? What for?
You're scheduled to assist him in the Ross case tomorrow, and he wants you to study the x-rays.
Me? Now, why on earth would he pick me?
Because, as much as he hates to admit it, there's no one else sufficiently competent.
Well, I think the least he could have done was to tell me himself.
Bob, now don't get upset. Don't jeopardize your career by fighting him. If Ross should die because of a clash of personalities in the operating room, your reputation as a neurosurgeon, along with Dr. Foyle's, would suffer irreparable damage.
Yeah, honey, I guess you're right. Thanks for the pep talk.
Well, here's Ross's files, including the x-rays. You better look them over.
All right. Anybody wants me, I'll be in the office.
Bob,
Uh-huh.
I'll be keeping my fingers crossed.
You are Dr. Tyrrell.
Yes, that's right.
I'm Dr. Zenon, a graduate of Reisberg University in Europe.
How do you do, Doctor? Would you sit down?
Thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
I have come to help you.
To help me? Well, that's very nice of you, Doctor, but look, I don't want you to think I'm rude, but I'm pretty busy just now.
This is about Professor Ross.
What about him?
He is a brilliant nuclear physicist.
Yes, I know all that. You see, I read the papers, too.
But you are operating on him tomorrow. That is why you are here now.
You seem to know a lot about it.
You wish to examine the x-rays, to impress every detail of them on your mind. Commendable. But if I may say so, my friend, useless. Quite useless. Your mind is too overwrought to accept the details.
How can you possibly tell me what my mind is capable of accepting?
That is not important. What is important is that Professor Ross should live to complete his experiments. It is imperative that he make his contribution towards ending these threats of war.
Look, Doctor, if you just came here simply to tell me about the seriousness of my responsibility, I already know.
But I have come here to help you, Dr. Tyrrell, to ensure that the operation is a success.
Dr. Zenon, no living man can do that. The chances of Professor Ross's recovery are very slim indeed.
On the contrary, my friend, I assure you they are very great. All you need is one thing.
What's that?
Dr. Zenon's vision.
Oh, look, Doctor, you're wasting my...
If you will only listen to me.
I've been listening to you.
I have here a pair of glasses which I have processed in a special way.
Now, look, Doctor,
I implore you. The welfare of mankind is at stake. Be reasonable.
You be reasonable. This thing's gone far enough. Come on, Doctor, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
No, my friend. Not until you have promised to use the glasses.
All right, Doctor, give me the glasses, I promise.
That is a promise, remember.
Oh, yes, I promise.
You will find they have a tendency to become foggy. When that happens, take them off and wipe them with this fluid.
All right, I'll try and remember.
You must remember, the success of the operation depends upon it.
All
and
right.
one thing more. I am only lending these glasses to you for this particular operation. It is very important that Professor Ross should live.
Yes, Doctor, that's right. Look, how'd you happen to lend me the glasses? Don't you know that Dr. Foyle is actually performing the operation? I'm his assistant.
No, my friend. You are going to perform the operation.
Bob. Hey, Bob.
Oh, my... What time is it?
It's 2:30.
Oh, my, I must have dozed off.
Here's Dr. Foyle's data on Professor Ross.
Fine.
Bob,
What?
Dr. Foyle has been suddenly taken ill.
He has? When?
A while ago, I just left his office.
What about Professor Ross, that operation tomorrow morning?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Dr. Foyle has appointed you to perform the operation.
Me? And Dr. Xenon was right.
We'll continue with the second act of Seeing Eye Surgeon in just a moment. Right now, I'd like you to check something with me. Now, for the past year, I've been identified with the fine products of C.H. Maslin and Sons. You know, Alan Edwards, the rug man. And my friends have sort of been challenging me on the whole proposition of selling carpets by television. Well, I can always lean back on the old adage that seeing is believing. Now, here, for instance, is Maslin's Polonaise. This lovely conventionalized rendering of the leaf pattern gives this new broadloom a happy affinity with either contemporary or 18th century furniture, a sure guarantee for any decorative theme. Now take a closer look. Polonaise is a real Wilton weave in high and low round wire pile, lending unusual texture and providing an element of pure luxury underfoot. Now, from a color aspect, well, that's no problem at all. All you've got to do is glance around your living room and decide what color carpet you would like to go with your present color scheme. The odds are that Maslin can match it. All Maslin carpets are made with a constant eye on the keynote in color, and of course, the quality and craftsmanship which is typical of all Maslin products. Just as a hint, Polonaise is notable in that it is available in eggshell white, a really important color in today's trend towards smart floor coverings. It's also available in corsage green, beaver, pilgrim gray, and salon beige. Polonaise is made in widths up to 15 feet and can be yours for only about $14.50 a square yard. Visit your Maslin dealer and let him introduce you to Polonaise, a carpet that's really new, really different, and really good. Remember, it's Polonaise by C.H. Maslin and Sons, makers of fine carpets since 1866. And now the second act of Seeing Eye Surgeon, starring Bruce Cabot with Ed Jerome.
Now, Martha, let me get this straight. I'm going to be in complete charge of the operation. Is that right?
Yes.
It's just incredible. That's exactly what he predicted.
Who?
Dr. Xenon. He paid me a visit a little while ago. Listen, Martha. See if you can find any kind of a record on a Dr. Xenon. He's a graduate of Riceburg University. That's in Europe.
Okay. But may I ask why?
Well, no particular reason. No particular reason at all.
Bob, what is it? You seem worried about something.
Naturally, I'm worried.
But why? Darling, this may be your chance to break away from the old man. Why, if this operation is a success, your reputation as a leading neurosurgeon will be established.
Martha, it isn't as simple as that, don't you see? Dr. Foyle isn't risking a thing. Come here a minute. Let me show you something. You see that? That growth is right on the frontal lobe. You know what the chances of success are in an operation like this?
Not very good.
Not very good. It's an understatement. They're about 1 in 1,000.
Well, are you planning on a biopsy?
I'm afraid I won't have time to make a microscopic study of the tissue. I just...
Well, then you won't know if the tumor's cancerous or not.
You know something? I've got a hunch that Dr. Foyle is deliberately passing up this assignment. He knows it's inoperable, so he's throwing it right in my lap.
Now, there's no use getting upset about it.
He's getting upset with half the world praying for Professor Ross's recovery?
Well, don't take it out on me. I'm only the bearer of bad news.
I know, honey. I'm sorry. Listen, will you ask Dr. Stevens if he'll be good enough to assist me?
Surely.
And I'll need Dr. Way and Dr. Abbott in the operating room. You might see if you can get them in there in a half hour for a conference.
Well, what time will you operate?
10 o'clock tomorrow morning is scheduled.
Okay. And Bob, remember, I'm going to be right in there rooting for you.
Good. Put the bottle down. Give me the glasses. It's incredible. I can see the whole cellular structure. The most minute difference between healthy tissue and diseased tissue. Quick. I think we've got a chance. Night. Ready for sutures, Dr. Stevens?
St. Jude's, put me through to Dr. Terrell's office. Terrell, this is Dr. Foyle. I just read the report on the Ross operation. I can't make head or tail of it. It certainly does need some explanation. It reads more like something out of a comic book than a surgeon's report. Now, wait a minute. I'm here at my home, but I'll be at the hospital in 15 minutes. You wait there in your office for me. I want to talk to you.
More mail? How's Professor Ross?
Well, he's off the danger list. Everyone's saying it's a miracle.
You're just about right. And by the way, did you find out anything about Dr. Zenon?
No, and I've checked all the usual references, including the American Medical Association.
Did you try the Library of Congress?
Yes, and I'm to call them back after... Well, I could do it now.
Will you? And use the phone outside. I want to talk to Dr. Foyle.
Good afternoon, Dr. Foyle.
Afternoon.
Let me know as soon as you find out anything.
Sure.
Won't you sit down, Doctor?
Hill, I'm not here to argue the medical aspects of the case. I don't agree with your methods of procedure, but I hadn't expected to do that. But when I read in the report some drivel about miraculous glasses, I felt my duty to have a thorough examination.
Dr. Foyle, I can't say that I blame you, but believe me, it's not important.
The resident doctor didn't agree with you. Neither did your assistants. What is this all about, Terrell?
Oh, it's nothing.
With the whole hospital blathering about it? Don't be absurd. This report says that you stopped the operation while the patient was on the verge of shock in order to get a pair of glasses from your office. Don't you realize that that delay might have caused the patient's death?
Yes, sir, but we saved the patient's life. The operation was a success. That's the important thing.
Only by some miracle. And it had something to do with glasses.
Doctor, you're way off base.
Am I? I don't think so. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so upset.
Doctor, once and for all, will you forget those glasses?
Oh, so then you admit there were glasses. Well, if they're not important, you won't mind telling me where you got them.
All right, Dr. Foyle, I'll tell you, but you won't believe me. I got them from a man named Dr. Zenon. He loaned them to me.
Doctor who?
Dr. Zenon. He's a graduate of Riceburg University in Europe.
Oh, don't give me that, Doctor. I happen to know that legend, too.
What are you talking about?
You mean you haven't heard it?
No, I don't know anything about a legend.
No, I guess maybe you wouldn't. You never studied in Europe. Whoever gave you those glasses must have known that.
Doctor, I can just tell you that I used them. I don't know where they are just now. I gave them to Miss Larson right after the operation. I was so upset I couldn't even think.
Miss Larson, will you come in here? The glasses Dr. Terrell used during the Ross operation, where are they?
Well, I put them in here right after the operation. By the way, Bob, I've tried the Library of Congress, and I can't find any record of Dr. Zenon. There doesn't seem to be such a person.
Of course not. He's the product of Dr. Terrell's fevered imagination.
Here they are. And here's the cleaning fluid.
There you are, Dr. Foyle.
What are you talking about? Well, these glasses have no lenses.
I don't understand. When I put them away, the lenses were there.
That is strange. That's very strange. Maybe it was solution in this bottle. I wonder. Yes, Dr. Xenon meant it when he said that he was just loaning me these glasses for this one particular operation.
Do you expect me to believe there was actually a Dr. Xenon?
Dr. Foyle, I don't know what to expect you to believe. It all seems so unreal now, and yet it did happen. There was a Dr. Xenon, and there were glasses. Does Dr. Xenon really exist? I don't know. For that matter, do we three standing right here in this room really exist? Who knows? The real and the unreal. Where does one stop and the other begin? Maybe we're just the figment or product of someone else's fevered imagination. Someone from another world, perhaps. Dr. Xenon. Who knows who Dr. Xenon really is? Or if he did ever actually exist. Who knows?
And so we end tonight's Tale of Tomorrow. Now, don't go away. You'll be sorry because I've got something for you. Now, a few minutes back, I was telling you about this beautiful new Maslin carpet, Polonaise. Well, Polonaise, of course, like all Maslin Beauty Blend broadlooms, has this color guide label to help you in home decoration. Now, look back at me again. Look at this. Maslin has taken all the color guide labels and put them together into this convenient color guide folder, and it contains 45 different color schemes. On the back, a lot of helpful hints about home decorating and about carpet care. Now, you want one? Well, you can get yours absolutely free from your local Maslin dealer who is currently featuring Polonaise. As a matter of fact, we're going to go to your hometown right now so the man can tell you where to get your helpful color guide folder absolutely free. Here he is. We're very happy to be able to announce that Tales of Tomorrow has been honored with the first annual Galaxy Magazine Television Award on the basis of the shows A Child is Crying and Ahead of His Time. Since Galaxy is one of our leading science fiction magazines, we're especially proud that it should have singled out our show for this very great honor. Next week, Tales of Tomorrow will present Jackie Cooper and Edith Fellows in The Cocoon, a story of suspense and terror which we guarantee will provide you with 30 minutes of tension and shock. We feel that The Cocoon will rank high as one of the most unusual stories ever presented on television. This gripping Tale of Tomorrow will be brought to you next week by Chrysler, the name that makes news in watch bands.
Next week, Tales of Tomorrow will be presented by Chrysler Watch Bands. And here's Chrysler's new Golden Comet watch band for men. It makes your watch look better than new and dresses up your appearance, too. And ladies, you can transform your old watch into an expensive-looking bracelet watch with Chrysler's new expansion bracelet, Golden Fantasy. So look for Chrysler at your jeweler. It's the name that makes news in watch bands.
The preceding program, originally telecast by ABC in New York, has come to you by special video recording. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.